Welcome back to another week of That Stupid Podcast, our brand new format.
Hey, Steven.
Yeah?
What's today's date?
Today is June 13th, 2012.
No. You got it wrong again.
Yeah, I totally screwed that up last week.
Yeah, you did.
I know.
Yeah, you did. So really, what's today's date?
It's Monday, May 26th.
2014.
You got it. And as it being Monday, we're going to lay some tech bites. Some tech news.
Technology bites.
That's right. We're going to start off today.
What are we going to start with? I'm excited.
I'm excited, too. Did you hear about HP this week?
No. What about HP this week?
So they've laid off 16,000 people.
What?
That's about 5% of HP's workforce. Yeah.
Is there a reason behind this? I mean,
Well,
it's
they're
HP.
broke.
It's whoa. How is HP broke?
No. Actually, it's actually not as bad.
Is it manufacturing wing?
Yeah.
Or?
Well, everybody keeps saying the PC market's dead. The PC market's dead. The PC market's dead. You hear it over.
I don't
and over
think
and
it.
over.
I mean, the non-business PC market's probably dead because everybody's building PCs now. But...
Well, this is still better than what they originally talked about, because back in May 2012, when they were talking about their plans to lay people off because of slowness in the PC market, the number was 27,000.
Oh, wow.
So when you look at it that way,
we got a cut of 11,000
Right,
there.
I
So
mean,
11,000 people still have their jobs.
that's kind of a good. I mean, and it was really announced as, we're pleased to report we're only letting go 16,000 people. I mean, yes, that sucks.
I mean, that sucks, but considering
but
what
it's
the
not
number could have
27.
been,
Right? It's not 27,000. So.
I'm happy with that. I'll take it.
The biggest problem, of course, for those of you who work in that particular sector, that means that now 16,000 of you are going to be vying for the same job.
It also means they took your job.
They took your job.
That's
Oh
right.
man, that was a good episode.
I know.
Of South Park. So if you don't know what the hell he's talking about, you should watch South Park.
You should watch South Park a little bit more.
Good. So that was a big deal. 16,000 people.
That is a lot of people. It's crazy. It's
fellow
crazy.
tech brethren and sistren.
It's really crazy for me to think that, considering that when I think of big names in computers, you've got Microsoft, you've got HP, and you've got Dell, because in the mid to late 90s, when the battles were ensuing, the battlegrounds of the home PC market, dude, you're getting a Dell or the frickin' HP. That was it.
That's true. That's true.
Those were your two options, unless you wanted a Mac.
But nowadays, you've got Lenovo.
You got Lenovo. You've got
IBM coming from the ashes of IBM.
The Phoenix rising up.
It did. I mean, this little company bought all of their ThinkPads. They now own a big chunk of their server market as well. And Lenovo is outselling.
They just took Apple over, right?
Yeah, they did.
Now, with that said, I don't think it's because Lenovo is selling like crazy. They have a lot more products than Apple does.
Yes, they do. But that's still a big deal, because people
They're
talk
taking
about
market share in something that IBM could never do.
Right, exactly. And that's a huge deal. Speaking of someone else who outdid Apple recently, and this is for people who think that we're Apple fanboys all the time, Google.
Google has
has outranked Apple as the most valued brand,
which is, by the way,
massive.
Apple has been listed as the top valued brand for like 10 years, or
it's been
it's
in a
long
row
time.
for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
but they've only not been it a few times.
Yeah,
and
it's weird to
so
hear that, but I'm not shocked by that at all.
No, Google's done a pretty good job in the last really 2 years.
They've got great PR.
Yeah, they do.
They have cars that drive
like
themselves?
Packard Bell had great PR.
Yeah.
Not that I want to compare Google with Packard Bell for a minute. Which reminds us, if you follow us on Facebook, you probably saw a video that I posted a little earlier this week. Yeah. It was from 1995. It was about the Windows 95.
Yeah.
It's an hour-long video. Don't watch the whole thing.
No,
but it's
just
Jennifer Aniston
with the other guy from Friends. It's the intro video of how to use Windows 95.
Matthew Perry.
They dropped a lot of money on that.
They really did. But if you noticed, they went to Bill Gates' computer. It was totally a Packard Bell. It was a Packard Bell. I was like, oh my god, it doesn't get more 90s than that.
So speaking of Apple or Hackable
Apple. Yeah. So iOS 7.1.1, which many of you know as the replacement to 706, it fixed a few things. It pissed him off a lot with the...
It pissed me off a lot.
The call knobby button thing.
It's tiny. Like the button for ending a
it
call
is
is about.
It is.
It's.
But you know why they? See, here's the irony of that. They did that also because people didn't like the big button because they would accidentally click the button.
Who was accidentally clicking the giant button? Who was looking at their phone and going, "Oh yeah, that big button right there, the big red one. Oh, why's the phone hung up?" People are stupid.
They are, but It has been by the same people, Evasion, if you know who they are, EVI0.
They've been doing this for
SON. They've been
a
doing it
hot
for a
minute.
little while. Who notoriously jailbroke, I should say, iOS 7.
Yep.
Has a jailbreak for 7.1.1, but you can't have it just yet.
No.
Now, you and I were talking before the show.
I don't actually know why.
Right, and you're like, well, it's not because they want to get up the hype. And I'm going to tell you you're wrong.
I would
I'm going to
think
tell you
that.
why it's not that.
Okay.
Every time, and you may, for those of you out there, may even remember early on when 7 was in beta,
Yeah.
there was a jailbreak.
Yeah.
And you didn't get to see it.
No, because they never actually, they said they never completed the full jailbreak.
Here's why they do that, and they do this for every one of them. If you can go all the way back to 4 to 3 to 5, all these different versions. Every time we're close to another major release, and this was true on really even 6.1 to 7.
Okay.
There was an update that we didn't get to see, and here's why they do it. Apple will close holes. In fact, for the first time in Apple's history, they gave a nod to the evaders in the last
because
set
they're
of notes
reporting
about
the holes that they
Right.
close, so they can use the holes that they report to get in and do other stuff.
Right.
So,
So what they don't want to do is if they give that hole away now, that means that by
they
the
can't
time
use it later in the next big version.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So the hope is that doesn't get closed for iOS 8, and they're still able to use that to then build on. Now, and I say build on because very likely that won't be enough to jailbreak iOS 8. But if it's not closed, it's a start, and that's kind of how that works every time.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You
Right.
drill a little hole, and you just widen the crack as
Exactly.
you go along.
But it does mean good news for iOS 8 jailbreak because a lot of people were worried about it. I mean, and it's funny, they were more worried about 7 than they are 8.
I
But
just don't want it, and I will jailbreak my phone if I have to. I don't want it to look like a freaking Easter egg hunt.
mine doesn't look like a shake, huh?
No, I'm talking about 8.
Oh, no, so 8 won't look that much different than 7. I think they might tweak some of the colors.
Those preview
but-
images, and I hope they're not the final ones, look god awful. It's pastel.
Well, I think
everything.
they're trying to tweak the colors. Granted that, yes, some of the previews. You have to understand, too, some of those previews aren't even real.
I know. They're mock-ups, or they're just people
yeah,
on the internet and all that jazz.
Wait for WWDC in a few weeks, and we'll get to see.
We'll actually get to see
iOS
it
8.
because they'll announce it.
And even though this isn't really an Apple Day, what do you guys think? You're going to see at WWDC. There's some. Are we going to see iOS 8? Are we going to see iPhone 6? Are we going to see the new Apple TV?
Are we going to see new iPads?
Are we going to see an iPad 12-inch?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of rumors out there, but we're not going to talk about those
But
right
we
now.
want to know what you
What do you think we're going to see? So
Go
let
to
us
the
know.
Facebook page, comment us on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Let us know.
Absolutely.
We will show. We'll throw some holla back at you.
Absolutely. So there's another piece of technology news I want to mention about Microsoft this
Okay,
week.
what's that?
I didn't put it in show notes. It's a little surprise.
Okay.
Microsoft launched last week, I should say, since it's now the 26th.
Oh, is this going to be about the new SmartPad?
Surface.
Surface, that's right.
Microsoft has finally, in my opinion, done something correct with their Surface. And I
They
know
burned it and they threw it
Nope.
into a fire.
They're
We
not-
just talked last week
No.
about how that thing is garbage.
it is. Well, the RT still is garbage.
Okay.
Period. The RT is crap, so we're never going to talk RT again. But the Surface Pro 3, the third generation in the Pro line, has finally done something that needed to be done since its inception.
Which is
It stopped fighting the iPad.
good because it's not. They're not competitors.
Right. Microsoft is now competing against the MacBook Air.
That's a good call. That's a good
It is
market
a
to have.
very good call, and
To be
here's
fair,
why.
I don't even know.
Here's
people
why
have
it's a good
MacBook
call.
Airs. Ooh.
I like the MacBook Air. I don't want one. I prefer my MacBook Pro, mind you, because I want a little more horsepower.
This is my MacBook Air. It's called an iPad Air.
Well,
and it works just the same.
No, it doesn't. That's two different. Those are two different technologies. Don't even get me started. Here's why fighting the MacBook Air is a much better market. So the first thing they did is they took that smaller screen, they jumped it to 12 inches.
I heard about that.
That's a big deal because that puts it right at the MacBook Air size. Because the MacBook Air is 11.9.
Yeah.
It's about 1.5 pounds lighter than
Which
the
is
MacBook Air.
Impressive.
Because
Which
the
is
MacBook Air is
impressive.
light
It's
as hell
light.
anyway.
It is, yeah.
This is 1.5 pounds lighter. It's got as much, or depending how you configure it, more horsepower than the MacBook Air. So for
Okay.
those people who are all about numbers, this is a much faster machine. And it's still got a touchscreen, and the keyboard comes off, and it works like a
that's
tablet
that
when you want it to, which you cannot do with a MacBook Air.
All right, I'll give you guys that one. But I also already hate
So-
the MacBook Air in general. So props to you on that one.
But I think for businesses, this is a really good call for Microsoft to push because
I do too.
it gives them the ability.
They're never gonna beat the iPad.
You can't beat the iPad, especially with the
Asus tried
yeah
and failed miserably.
miserably. what was that?
The Transformer line series, and they were awesome when they came out. And they're still awesome
the Transformers
now.
are great,
but they're overpowered as hell.
Even though I hate Dell, a couple of their Transformers I thought were kind of nice too. But so yeah, I'm really happy about Microsoft doing that, and I'm gonna try to get my hands on some review units and do a demo.
I wouldn't
at some
hate
point.
that.
So
Microsoft,
look out for that. Yeah, no doubt. Other news and technology this week. Do you still eBay, Mr.?
No.
Do you still eBay?
I buy some belt buckles off eBay because if you don't know anything about me, I'm a belt buckle fanatic.
Right.
And you can get them for the cheap.
Well, you better cheap your password and change it.
Well, but I just changed it because of all the Heartbleed stuff.
You change it again.
Why?
I mean, it's good that you changed it for Heartbleed, and you might be okay, but probably not.
What happened
So
now?
eBay was quietly hacked. We say quietly hacked because this actually happened in February. We're just finding out about it now.
They just didn't want to tell anybody until now.
They didn't know.
They didn't know? Yeah. When did they just? How do you not know? Did LifeLock call them up 2 months later and be like, "Hey guys, some bad shit went down"?
Yeah. So if you eBay, the moral of this particular story is if you eBay, go
change your password.
Change it now because
chances are, if you have your PayPal and stuff linked to that, you're probably in trouble.
Yeah.
Because that is a thing. You can link your PayPal to your eBay, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Sorry about
And don't do that anyway. Don't ever link your PayPal to your password. That's just...
No. I have a separate, complete, different everything. But I know that people out there do it, especially eBay sellers who, want their stuff to go directly into their PayPal account. So.
And one last little bit of technology news.
Which I've been bugged about already twice.
Yeah.
So it's annoying.
So
stop it.
Facebook decided that, hey, there's not quite enough stalking going on Facebook.
Yeah.
So we're going to let you ask your friends about their relationship status if they haven't filled it out.
Well, here's the funny part. This has been available. I love how everybody's making a fit about this now.
Well,
all of those ask buttons have been there.
The ask buttons have always been there. It's different. It is a little bit different now.
It is a little bit different because I tested this with a friend of mine. When you ask somebody about their relationship status, you can choose to only show it
to them,
to that person.
Right, and that's the real change. So yes, for those of you who know, when you go to somebody's about, if they haven't put their hometown or where they live,
you can ask them.
You can click the ask button, and it would just go out, and they get a reminder. Basically, they would get a reminder. It wouldn't even say that you asked them necessarily.
Yes, it does.
No, before. Did it before too? I'm talking about before. Not talking about now.
I don't think before.
Right. That's what I was saying.
Now it does. It attaches your name to it.
Right. That's what I was saying. So before they would just get this reminder, and you've logged into the app, and it says, "Hey, you haven't filled this stuff out." And you're like,
so annoying.
Skip. Well, now, yes, it tags your name to it, and then you can decide that Mr. Smith wants to know what kind of relationship you're in. You can answer to everyone, or you can just tell him.
Yep. Now with that said. The ask button used to not be there if you didn't have a relationship status. Like, your relationship status used to not have to show up, period, on Facebook.
Right.
I don't have anything set for relationship status at the moment. Not because I don't want to or not because I'm not in a relationship. Just because I don't care. It's Facebook.
It's Facebook. But it's not official. It's not on Facebook.
Oh, my God. And that. But now the ask button is there, even though I don't have anything.
As far as I can tell, you can't turn that off.
You cannot turn that off,
and that's the problem I have.
That's the annoyance that I'm running into.
So we need to.
I'm looking at you, Zuckerberg. Give me some options here. Look, even Microsoft's listening for all the Xbox stuff that's going down, and you guys are over here dilly-dallying with all these Facebook updates, just pissing people off. You were in the business of pissing people off. Just throwing it out there.
Well, kids don't even use Facebook anymore, do they?
I don't even know. They're all with the
Instagram
tweet butts and the dick face. I don't know. They're all about tweeting their junk. Like, if I see a kid sitting and he's like this, I don't know if he's texting or if he's taking a picture of his dick. I don't even know anymore.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point. So.
All this sexting and crazy, and they're breaking the wristbands, and they're doing the thing with the kids and the Prince music videos. I don't know.
You put fake suspenders on and you turn into a curmudgeon.
I know.
It's like... You didn't notice we're both wearing...
We are both wearing Doctor Who shirts.
Doctor Who.
That's this week's thing.
Bow ties are cool.
Bow ties are cool.
Yeah.
So is that it for this week?
That's it for technology. It wasn't a huge week, but there were some huge stories. There just wasn't a lot of them that I wanted to cover. I mean, there was a little bit more out there, but screw it.
Either way, don't forget to like us on Facebook. Make sure...
subscribe
like us on Facebook.
Subscribe on the YouTube.
And we'll be back tomorrow with Game Changer.
That's right. We'll see you in 24 hours.
24 hours.